So, we have a very special episode today, guys. Today, we have somebody you may know. He's been traveling through space for the past 28 years, and he has had very limited contact with Earth in his journey. And because of time dilation, it's still 1996 in his time. But he has had a little bit of contact with us. He knows a little bit about today's world. So, we're honored to have him here with us today. Dr. Sagan, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for having me on. It's great to be able to talk with you. I am quite eager to learn more about 2024.
Of course, I am absolutely honored to have you on today. I hope we can have a good discussion.
Thank you. It feels great to be back, and I definitely missed a bunch that I need to catch up on. So tell me, have there been any major global conflicts since 1996?
Well, let's just say there hasn't been any nuclear war, okay? Let's just say that.
No nuclear war. That's good news. Has the world come together on climate change to solve greenhouse warming?
Not quite. CO2 emissions are still rising. US is lagging behind China in terms of renewable energy, climate action, and 40% of people in America still reject that climate change even happens, let alone is human caused.
How terrible. We have known about the issue for decades. I would have expected much more action from global leaders. Have we at least expanded our space program, set up a colony on Mars, or visit the moons of the outer solar system?
Uh, no. NASA's budget is extremely tight right now. We've landed a few more robots on Mars, but no humans have really been to Mars or the moon since you left.
Well then, how about the internet? I recall it was just beginning to be widely adopted before I left. Have people used the internet to increase education in science and technology?
Um, well, social media now dominates the internet. Memes, TikTok dances, online psychic readings, they're very popular now.
Memes, TikTok dances, online psychic readings. Is that how the most powerful tool invented is being utilized? Oh my. Seems like the people of the 2000s have interesting priorities.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. The good news, though, is that more people now have access to technology.
It's apparent that we haven't changed much since I left. But what has changed is the abundance of technological powers worldwide. It is now more important than ever that we understand what we are getting ourselves into. Well, I guess I'm caught up now.
Okay, great. So now, do you mind if we get into the questions? We really want to hear what you have to think about the modern world, and then later we'll talk about the future, what you think about going into the future. So, you ready for the questions?
Fire away.
All right, great. So, first things first. Since you left, the internet really blew up, and it's been a global phenomenon. So, what do you think about it when you see it today? What do you think about the internet?
The internet, akin to the Library of Alexandria, holds the potential for enlightenment. However, we must navigate the sea of information discerningly. It can either be a beacon of knowledge or a maze of misinformation.
So, do you think the internet has helped society, or do you think it has an overall net negative on society?
You know, people can jump online with their smartphones and be bombarded by just streams and streams of information. If people don't understand how to skeptically interrogate what they are absorbing, in other words, if they don't take a scientific approach when taking in this information, they'll simply be lost at sea.
True, people are becoming lazy in the information that they're, led to believing in because there's so
Exactly.
many ridiculous things out there. In the age of information, we take information for granted. It's it's like we have an abundance of it and we don't use it correctly.
We have produced a society that runs on science and technology, yet hardly anybody understands science and technology. The people have lost any interest in being accurate. Social media has been configured in such a way that when you go online now, that only the most mindless nonsense filters into our devices. I mean, the whole thing is just absurd. Stuff that gets you to click and watch, and whoever gets the most likes wins.
So that's why you're saying we have to, get back to a scientific grounding and really have a scientific mindset when we go online.
Understanding science is more important than ever, especially living in the age of information we're in. We still have lots of work to do in making sure people are equipped with BS detectors, as I call it.
BS detectors. But why do you think so many people still believe in these like ridiculous conspiracies, like flat Earth and all these ridiculous religions with all this information that we have access to?
Humans, by nature, seek narratives that provide comfort and coherence. Science is a candle in the dark, illuminating the wonders of the cosmos.
Like it, like it. You think the push for science will get people out of this comfort mode and into the dark? But why would you want to go into the dark where it's uncomfortable?
A society that values the pursuit of knowledge thrives and evolves. The last few decades have brought forth astonishing revelations. From the discovery of exoplanets to the unraveling of the human genome, we've gained profound insights into the tapestry of existence. Each revelation deepens our connection to the cosmic story.
So, artificial intelligence is getting really interesting. It's surprising, really, even to me, to see how capable it already is. Are you optimistic or pessimistic on AI and our future with it?
Yes. Artificial intelligence is a testament to human ingenuity, a prime example of the fruits of science.
But could it destroy us?
Who knows? We have enormous reason to be cautious here. I mean, we live in a time where we have the potential to create intelligence that supersedes us. However, there is good reason to be hopeful.
In what ways?
Google's AI, what was it called?
AlphaFold.
AlphaFold. Yes,
AlphaFold.
thank you. It has recently solved a puzzle with protein folding that even human scientists couldn't understand. There is a huge
Right.
potential for AI to be used in perhaps solving for diseases that even just a decade ago would have been seen as impossible to treat. Cancers and other types of illnesses. And in the engineering world, AI has the potential to unveil new ways of battery and solar technology, expediting the use of renewable energy. This could be a huge leap for our species, far superseding any societal transition in human history.
But are you at all worried?
Well, artificial intelligence looks to be increasing exponentially in abilities, much faster than perhaps anyone could have predicted. But just like any other emerging technology, we have to remain cautious. AI must be used for the benefit of all. It must not be placed into the hands of a few. Its potential is too awesome to be wasted and selfishly exploited.
All right. So, turning it over to space, what do you think of the current plans for us to get to the moon and then Mars in the next decade?
The human spirit has this amazingly intense will to explore. and Mars beckons as the next frontier. However, the challenges of a human mission to Mars are like none other. No mission to space has been as dangerous or challenging.
Do you think we'll ever discover something profound on Mars, perhaps life or ancient life when we get to the surface?
You know, funnily enough, when I was a child, maybe 10, I would stand
Mm.
outside at night and look up at Mars. I was so eager to travel to the surface and visit any extraterrestrials that may have lived there. You know, I will say Mars has been quite a surprising endeavor since we first landed with the Viking spacecraft.
True. In a way, you actually made your dream of going to Mars come true with Viking.
Right?
And I'm
That's
hopeful
right.
that Mars will be an incredible journey for us. So I want to talk about Cosmos. What inspired you to do Cosmos, and are you proud of it? Do you see it as a big accomplishment? Is it like one of the highlights of your life?
Uh, well, with Cosmos, I wanted to take people
Mm.
on a personal voyage through the universe. You see, to me, science has always been something that goes beyond simply knowing stuff, but there is this underlying spiritual implication to science. And what I mean by the word spiritual in this context is this deep feeling of reverence for the cosmos. I wanted to share a glimpse of that with people. People who are typically deprived of this profound cosmic perspective.
But do you look back and you're just like proud of this legacy?
Witnessing the positive response and success of the series affirmed to me and Annie that there really is still this hunger for knowledge within all of us. And it was heartening to see so many embracing the wonders of the cosmos.
Yes, I absolutely love this series, and it's made so many people get into STEM, and it's inspired so many people. We just can't thank you enough for what you did.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I appreciate it.
No problem. So, with the pale blue dot, what was going through your mind when you first got the photos? When you first saw them coming back from Voyager, what was going through your mind at at that moment?
The pale blue dot was just one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. You know, when I first saw the photos, it evoked such a humbling and deep reflection in me. I remember feeling such a profound sense of gratitude, as I do every time I see it. Seeing that one speck in a sea of darkness. The team and I didn't expect to capture such a photo, but we took the chance. And to say the least, I'm glad we did.
I'm glad as well, and it's regarded by many as one of the perhaps greatest photos ever taken by humanity. So I'm glad we have that gem as well. So now, when it comes to the future, what do you think will be the largest issue going into the next decade or so? What's going to be the biggest problem that humanity faces?
Um, well, climate change will be a looming problem as we go through 2024 and into the next few decades.
Yeah.
I think I read this morning that 2023 was the warmest year on record globally in terms of heat content in the oceans and atmosphere. Bad news. Solar and wind energy generation is increasing, which is good news. But I feel we are not doing nearly as much to transition off of fossil fuels as we ought to be doing. Obama did a great job in setting the stage for subsidies in green energy, but Trump cutting the EPA and fossil fuel regulations only set us back.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous seeing the conservative crowd just be so anti-electric car and anti-renewable energy. It's crazy. And what do you think of electric cars getting so popular now?
Yes. Well, back in the 1980s and 90s, electric battery technology for
Mm.
automobiles was actually readily available. In fact, in California in 1990, there was the zero emissions mandate, which caused GM to produce the EV1. However, it was quickly reversed because of pressure from manufacturers and big oil, of course. GM was happy to crush all the cars and act as if they never
Yeah,
existed.
because they saw the mandate reversed and basically tried to erase it from everybody's memories by destroying all the cars they had, right?
That's right. They didn't want to give the prospect of electric vehicles any more attention. And so they sort of wiped their hands clean with the whole thing. The point here is people are often reluctant to change. I mean, it's human nature to want to remain in our comfortable habits. We are so quick to dismiss anything that remotely challenges the status quo. But just imagine if this technology was embraced and improved upon over time. By now, we'd have a totally new market landscape. Companies being pressured to innovate. The amount of research that could have been done, just staggering.
True. We probably would have had solid state batteries at mass production, scale if we acted strong enough in the 90s, let alone the 80s, when we literally had the technology right in front of us. So now I know one of your books talked about animals, animal welfare, and connecting us back to Mother Nature.
Correct.
You never really spoke out for veganism or vegetarianism. What do you think of veganism?
Well, veganism aligns with a broader understanding of a deep interconnectedness with the planet. The environmental impact of animal agriculture is clearly substantial. Though I would say diet is a personal choice, I will agree that we humans are vastly disconnected to animals. They are much more aware than we give them credit for. And ironically, we give ourselves too much credit for how aware we think we are.
Awesome. So, what do you think about SpaceX and Elon Musk's Starship? What do you think about that?
SpaceX has no doubt achieved remarkable feats. If this was 1979, I would have never imagined a private company giving NASA astronauts a ride to the moon. I mean, it's just incredible what Musk and SpaceX are doing. Although, I would love to have been to Mars by now. And I am very disappointed that through the years, NASA's budget has been so reduced and diminished. There is so much of the outer solar system to explore. Europa and Titan will both be exciting endeavors.
Now, in terms of the popularization of science today, what do you like about it? And is there anything you want to say about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Neil? Oh, yeah. I am glad you mentioned him. I am so deeply proud of Neil and everything he's accomplished. When I first met him, for those of you who don't know the story, I invited him over to the lab at Cornell back in 1975 or 76. It was a snowy day, as it almost always was during winter in Ithaca. But I remember he had such a passion for the cosmos, and I saw it in him. I'm just glad he and Annie got to work together on the newer rendition of the cosmos. I couldn't think of anyone better to continue the show.
Well, I can say you.
Who?
You.
Maybe I should have.
So, overall, what do you have to say about the modern world and where we're headed? Do you have any optimistic words, any words of optimism for us in 2024 and going into the future?
Well, we are in such a remarkable time. A time when we as a species have accomplished so much. We have much to be proud of, as we should be. Proud to be human. Many challenges face us ahead. Climate change, war, new pandemics, equality, and social justice. We must make sure we use our tools and science for the betterment of all. Humans are capable of greatness. Let us remind ourselves of our pale blue dot, the only home we have ever known. In all of this vastness and mystery, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. It is up to us.
Okay. Dr. Sagan, I know you're busy and you got to go, but I'm just so happy and honored that you got to be with us today. And on behalf of people in 2024, I want to say thank you for everything you've done, and we appreciate you greatly.
Thanks, Mike, for having me.
Everybody, please give a round of applause for Dr. Sagan. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.